everybody, before you watch the video, make sure you follow the page, like the video. Hope you enjoy. Just something else that you mentioned before though about like, I don't know why this is coming into my mind, but like you're talking about like it's kind of about learning and teaching and stuff. When you were talking about individuals that like if you become the best guy in your space, you need to seek out other stuff. You know what I mean? You need to seek out other people. I've always had an issue with that for the most part, because I'm a lot heavier than a lot of the guys here. I do this full time. Not everybody else does this full time. Like it's hard to have in like the highest level training all the time unless you're at a gym where all the other guys are doing the same thing. So it forces you to be like a little more creative. And I actually believe this has happened with most of the Australian dudes. Like they're actually quite they're just quite creative and intuitive. Like they can just create scenarios where they can still get a higher level sparring situation with whatever they've got. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we don't have the long history that you do in Brazil or in the US or whatever of guys that are of that high skill level that are world champions or that type of thing. So you just have to be a little bit more resourceful with the situation you got. And like I think that there's actually guys that are high level that have done that before. Like for example, they talk about that Verdun when he won like the ADCC whatever year he won. He just trained with his students the whole time. He never trained.
Roger Grace at the peak of his career was with a blue belt at his gym.
Exactly. Yeah. And like
in England,
yeah. And sometimes you just have to like adjust the style of training to make whatever you can. Like for example, you know, I used to do that a lot where I would get people to start in the best positions possible and then, all right, go. All right, you're going to get really tired now. You're going to stand in the middle for 30 minutes and you're going to do 3 minutes with all these guys so that you're super tired and whatever. So I think if you're creative, you can kind of create a difficult scenario as long as you kind of look for, you know, like you're resourceful with how you do that.
Yeah, and I think some people probably struggle with that creativity, you know what I mean? Because that is a thing, you know, it's like breakdown. Like I know personally, like I struggle with creativity in my training, you know. I prefer, probably because I've come from the army as well, it's like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like you give me a gym program, I'll like stick to it 100%. You ask me to walk in the gym and come up with my own, it's like, difficult, it's difficult for me, you know, but that's just a weakness of mine, you know. But yeah, I agree. Like you can definitely, you know, make your training environment more challenging by being specific with a specific goal, or trying to, you know, make it harder, you know, for yourself. For sure.
But I think there's also another benefit for what you're saying is that I think you have more room to make it more developing into create techniques. You know what I mean? Because it's not such a train that is so tough and inch by inch.
Yeah, there's positive and negative to everything. Like if you do like full-on competition sparrings all the time, everyone always brings their best techniques because no one wants to lose, and that's the standard of the gym. Like we're all going 100%.
You don't develop as much.
So you continue to refine the techniques you already have as opposed to adding new shit all the time. The positive to having like much less skilled individuals around you is you can play around with shit and you can work on other areas.
If you have the work ethics to do so.
Yeah, of course. I would say that's kind of how like my development is reflected. Like there are good guys here. There's high level black belts that were competitive in all sorts of belt levels and stuff like that. But at a certain point in time, if you don't keep up that RPMs, you don't do the same level of work, you're just going to get left behind. That's what happens. So what happens with somebody that just consistently adds more and adds more and adds more, like I'm able to do that in so many different areas because you're so much more sensitive and skilled than the general practitioner here, that you're just playing a game. Like you're playing a game as opposed to like competitive sparring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a time and a place for both, I think, you know.
No, you definitely need the hard sparring. I'm not saying that you don't need that. I'm just saying they're good for different things. Like,
for sure.
I always talk about this with people, like at the end of classes and stuff like that, and they're always like, oh, you know, well, how do I get better and stuff? Well, are you being purposeful with the training, man? Like, are you being purposeful? Like, how are you training? 90% of the time you're going full clip trying to kill your partner.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really good for learning. It's good for refining the shit you're already good at.
Oh, it comes down to ego, though. You know, like, people don't want to try new techniques
Because they don't want to lose.
Because they don't want to get tapped. It's like, and it's like, especially when you're a lower belt, you forget how much it means. Like, if you just got your blue belt, for example, I can't be trying new techniques against a white belt and getting tapped by them. You know? Like, I just earned this belt. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think maybe I am autistic, man. I never thought about that shit ever. Man. I just went there and tried to go fucking. I'll try this. Oh shit! I don't go again.
I reckon people, like, a lot of people do. You know.
No, I agree. I think your mind's probably everyone's biggest struggle for the most part. But like, I also think people don't understand, and that's like the second portion is like they don't understand the function for stuff. Like, this is the same thing to do with the teaching that I'm talking about, like where I'm trying to get people to understand about the concepts. Like, everything you do has function. The way you feel has function. The way I've been listening to a bunch of like psychological audio books about this and that and da 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 and whatever, and like even the way you suppress society and stuff like that affects how people function. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you teach people not to be aggressive, it also affects the opposite side. You know what I mean? It affects people's creativity. It affects the way people are kind of resourceful with new ideas and stuff like that. It's not only that you're not being aggressive anymore. There's two sides to each emotion, to each way of thinking, to each way of this. So, like, when you need to understand to be able to apply. Does that make sense? So once you understand better, you have better ability to apply and get what you want. You know what I mean? Yeah. If your goal is to improve technically, you got to train like this. You might not want to, but that's what you got to do. If you want to lose weight, you're going to have to eat like this or eat this way in terms of, you know, a caloric deficit. It might not feel good, you might be hungry, but that's what you have to do. There's function to shit, and there's function to jiu-jitsu. And I'm spend so much time doing jiu-jitsu, I'm starting to realize all of these functions, and you're starting to analyze everything so much that it becomes really clear, and you can systemize everything, and you go, it's completely binary. It's not this crazy spiritual thing about feeling. No, it's completely binary. If I'm you know, here in this position, I'm playing guard, all right, I've got, you know, 3 things that I can do. I can either sweep the guy and go on the top, I can submit the guy, or I can take his back. All right, but how do I make sure those 3 things happen? What do I need to see as a marker, as an indicator to make sure I can make those 3 things happen? All right, I want to go to the guy's back. How do I make it easy to go to the guy's back? I'm going to post his hands on the mat. Why does that help going to the back? Because when the guy's hands are posted on the mat, he can't use them to stop you from maneuvering around his body. It also creates like a structure that you can climb on because he's on all 4s. Oh shit, that's the way to go to the back. You got to force someone's hands on the mat consistently, and if you do that, you go to the back. Are there exceptions to that? Of course, there's exceptions to everything. But 80% of the time, 85% of the time, 90% of the time, if you can keep someone's hands on the floor, it's a clear path to the back. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to take the back, the guy keeps taking his hands off the floor. Oh, what does that lead to? Let's try it. You try submission. You go, oh shit, submissions work when the guy's limbs are off the floor. Why? Because you can force the limb into the posture you need to actually cause damage on it. You don't want the guy to lean on the limb you're attacking. Holy shit. What about sweeps? And then, you know, it goes on for whatever. But like, the deeper you understand anything, the more you can get what you want out of it. I just don't think people a lot of the time are conscious enough or spend enough time trying to understand anything to get what they want. Do you know what I mean? This is what jiu-jitsu's taught me.
No.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video. If you haven't yet already, make sure you subscribe, like, and again, go and check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, like all our platforms. Give us a follow at bjj.101 on Instagram, and then go and check out bjj101.com.au to access the full video library.